Hi, my name is Carroll. I'm here to show you a little something here. We want to demonstrate that we can make an anti-ricochet connector out of hard materials. And normally hard materials, you would expect that to ricochet bullets. But there is a way to make a hard material anti-ricochet, and here's an example of that. If you're connecting a piece of fiberglass to another piece of fiberglass, in order to get a rigid connection, normally you want to use a strong connector. So a 1/4-inch plate is pretty strong, and you can bolt this. You can put one of these on each side of the fiberglass and just run bolts through it, and you can connect one to the other, and you got a rigid connection. But the problem is, if the bullet hits this, it's going to ricochet. And if you don't want that ricochet, there is a method for preventing that ricochet. And our theory here is to simply put an aluminum plate over it with an air gap. So it looks like this. Got this this plate here. We weld some brackets on it, or some spacers, and the distance that we're going to have is about 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Then we've got this simple aluminum plate that we've bent over on the sides, and when you put that on top, you've got a 3/8 of an inch air gap. But it's an anti-ricochet device. The idea being that the bullet will go right through this aluminum plate, and it will hit the metal behind it, and the kinetic energy from the bullet will be dissipated, and anything that ricochets off of that bullet will be encapsulated in the airspace in between there. So that's the idea, and we're going to go ahead and test it right now. Alright, I've got this thing prepared with a little duct tape, and we're going to go ahead and do this test. But, you know, as you can see, the advantage is, normally if you want an anti-ricochet connector, you're going to use something soft, but something soft doesn't give you the most rigid connection from one panel to the next. So that's the dilemma. And also, if you use fiberglass, an anti-ricochet fiberglass, to connect one piece of fiberglass to another one, yeah, you've got anti-ricochet, but the fiberglass is expensive. It's typically, you know, $32 a square foot for that stuff. And the fiberglass, the matting that they use in there is flexible, and the resin that they use is a plastic, so it's not the it's not the hardest thing in the world, and it could delaminate. So this is a method for anti-ricochet. It costs less, it's effective, and it's going to look nicer. It doesn't have to be nearly as thick. So here we go. All right, so what we're going to do is test this with the 7.62 by 39 full metal jacket rifle round, which is typical of what's being shot out of an AK-47 and terrorist weapons. So here we go. Fire in the hole. Let's see how we did. All right, here's the piece. And from looking at the styrofoam on the side to detect any ricochet, there was absolutely no ricochet. Nothing came out of that thing. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece now. We're going to take a look at it. There's the piece. The bullet went in there. It didn't come out the side, and it didn't penetrate. So we've just shown that you can use a hard, durable surface to make a connection from one panel to another and still not have any ricochet. The system works fine.